What's going on, people? Welcome back to another show. Man, I'm excited for this one because guess what? Champions League is back. Oh my goodness. Finally, we get a break from the EPL action. Obviously, there's still games in the EPL, but I always love European nights, right? Just because it's just the best of the best, come together. And yeah, man. So obviously, I've got my main man in the building, Yves. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Good, man. Looking forward to tonight's game. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. This morning has been crazy for us. Snowstorm. It's insane, man.
I saw
my car.
I saw the news. All of the Northern Hemisphere is doing not well in the States and Canada and all that. But I think you're more prepared than middle America. So that's interesting.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like it's been crazy, man. Like it's been snowing for the past 2 weeks, and we're expecting more snow this week.
Yeah, so crazy. But you're all prepared. I think Canada's used to it.
Yeah, we are. We got massive plows and stuff. So it's not like in France whereby it snows and everyone is on lockdown for a week.
Which is nice. You're like, oh no, snow, bye.
Yeah. I remember that you get like 1 inch of snow and it's like gridlock.
When we were in school, that was the dream, right?
Yeah, that was
you're waiting for that 1 inch of snow because there's no way you're coming in.
The plows in France was like the size of my car, man. Oh, they can't even plow a street here.
Yeah,
talk less of a road. But anyways, man, let's get to it. We don't have much time today. So obviously, the biggest game of the week, PSG versus Barcelona. How you feeling about that, man? How you feeling? Obviously, Neymar is injured, so that could be potentially a plus for Barcelona, just because I would have loved to see Neymar versus Messi, but
Well, you have to see the perspective. Messi isn't surrounded by the best cast. That's number one. Barcelona isn't doing their best, but also Paris is not doing their best. Paris is not first, Barca is not first, but Barca have far worse problems because a lot of key guys just are no longer there. And we have a very old cast now, or very young cast, let's put it this way, but not a good mix. And what I mean by old is that we don't have any new players besides some of the young kids, right? La Maisa and so forth. So Neymar not being there, it's definitely a boost for Barcelona, but it's also a negative point for Barcelona because that means the main game is going to be centered around Mbappé. Instead of having dynamic guys, they're going to push everything to Mbappé. So if we don't know how to address that threat right away, it could be very lethal for Barcelona. Di Maria not being there is also a big factor because he was strong, so that's interesting. But what's interesting between Barcelona and PSG is that both of the main guys that are back, Verratti and Piqué, aren't really at their best shape. No matter how the press frames it, they aren't. Like Piqué's been gone for a while, and Verratti's been battling hip issues. So they're both back tonight. So in the midfield, it's going to be interesting to see how he works.
Yeah, because I know Coleman was saying that Piqué might play tonight. So
it sounds like he can play. But again, you're looking at a weak defense. Midfield is okay. We don't have any strikers. We only have Messi. PSG has to stop Messi. If they can stop Messi, pretty much we're handicapped. So I think PSG have a much bigger upper hand than people think. I think people tend to forget that a vastly different Barcelona than they met in 2016, 2017. I can easily see Paris winning 3-0 and 3-0 again, which tops it off to a 6-0. So I can easily see that happening. If Barcelona score, they're really going to need to defend heavily.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I haven't watched, like I said in the last recording, I haven't watched too much of PSG under Poch. But do you feel like it's going to be the same thing whereby in the Champions League finals against Munich, where it was Neymar and Mbappe were just the target guys? And if it can nullify those two, the rest of the team is basically, it's kind of easy to play against, right? And now that Neymar is gone, your only focal point is Mbappe. So that could make it slightly easier for Barca. Because if you can nullify
Here's the funny thing about Barcelona. Barcelona scored more goals in Champions League on free kicks than any other team. So that tells you that Barcelona just aren't a lethal team up front. They're only capitalizing on opportunities close to the goal when the time is dead. Versus Paris, on the other hand, is the highest goal scoring person outside of in that team is basically Neymar. So Neymar not being there and knowing his comfort in Camp Nou kind of makes a difference. But again, you take away Neymar and Di Maria, you know the game is going to go through Mbappe. Mbappe is going to need to show up and be the leader. And if he wants to solidify his position, saying it's the next level, not beating a wounded Barcelona, I would really question what's he doing in Paris, honestly.
Yeah.
The deadly factor, as you pointed out, for Paris is, has it been enough time under Poch? Because it's still relatively fresh. He's still building tactics. This is, as much as people are labeling it as a big fight, title fight, it's not. Like, Paris is heavily superior than Barcelona right now. Barcelona don't have leadership from president to all the way to the coach. The coach is limited versus Paris, from the top to the coach. They solidified that position. So they know where they want to go. Versus Barcelona don't know where. There's a big transfer rumors around Messi. As much as Paris is trying to lure him, the realistic fact, he said no to Paris over the summer and he wanted City. So in my view, his position is the same. He's going to wait until the end of the year to see what the new president's going to say, which won't bring much. And he's going to want to go to City. Paris might bring him this factor, but as much as I say this in a nice way to Paris fans, if you punch your best friend in the face, don't expect him to be your best friend after. So if they damage or humiliate Barcelona tonight, there's no way Messi is going to go to Paris saying, I'm just going to join forces with Neymar, because it won't make sense.
Yeah.
We'll see how it plays tonight. But also an interesting stat that I found out last night, to tell you how bad Griezmann is in Champions League, he has more yellow cards than assists. I mean, if that doesn't say at all about Griezmann in Champions League, I don't know what does.
Man, Yves, you are not a Greasy fan, eh? Like, you are not having that kid whatsoever, man. I'm sure he was probably the first player you traded on FIFA.
The reason I can't let it go is, why did we let go of Suarez to give time to Griezmann where it's clearly not working? Suarez is top striker in the league. It doesn't. You know,
I think from a financial standpoint, because you guys only got Griezmann not too long ago, so that would have been a huge waste of, how much did you guys get him for? Like 80 mil?
Or 190 or something like that.
Exactly, versus Suarez is kind of getting to the end of his contract.
Yeah, but then why go out and get a crappy striker? It just doesn't make sense. If the wages were such damage, Suarez was willing to be on the bench and renegotiate his salary. He wanted to stay in Barcelona. Griezmann still wants his money and wants to be a starter, but he's not producing. Yeah, everybody's saying he's different lately in La Liga. I would really like to see him tonight. If tonight he impresses me, then I could say, okay, the future is Griezmann. But if tonight I don't see any assists or any goals, I don't want to hear about him. I want him on the transfer list in the summer.
But you know what, though? Because you're playing Paris, I think it's something like, it's the same thing with Pogba when, we face PSG. It's just that, because obviously it's in Barcelona, but at the same time, that a huge fan base of yours is also watching that game, because most Paris Saint-Germain fans are also French, and they support that team. So I find like sometimes it gives them a mental boost to try to, to step up and show what they have. But you know what? It's a tough one, man. I think the Suarez thing, it really was a slap in the face for Barcelona, especially the fans, right? Like, especially how hard the president really wanted him out. Yeah. And now you guys are, look at how he's, look at what he's doing at Atletico Madrid. It's unreal.
In the first podcast we did, I think a while back, and I said, if we let him go, he's going to come back to haunt our dreams. And he did.
You did say that, and I was like, are you sure, though? Because I know he was having a tough season last year.
He was having a tough season because no one was feeding him the ball, and it was all going through trying to get Griezmann inside and so forth. The real thing that Barcelona had a prime problem. They bought Griezmann thinking it was a solution for the evolution of Barcelona. It was not, and it was a mistake, which is why their finances are an issue. We could have gone out and got Neymar, which Messi would have stayed, and as much as no fan wanted Neymar back, That's what the core wanted. Those guys wanted him back to see magic. Sometimes you have to trust Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And Messi is Michael Jordan. You had to trust him. Get me this guy and we'll produce. The team didn't listen. Or the team listened, but the board didn't listen. The board, if anything, broke up the team even more by buying a player they didn't need and got rid of a player that they desperately needed. I mean,
they needed Messi's best friend, right?
Yeah, it's like he's one of Messi's best friend, but apparently Messi's best friend is Aguero, which, funny enough, he's free on contract at the end of the year. So it'll be interesting to see if we do anything with that. But now Neymar renewed his contract because his one dream was Barcelona. So he's not going anywhere else. And
no, I think Neymar is done. I don't think Neymar is getting a big contract.
And the rumors are that he's trying to lure Messi. He's trying to lure Messi. Yeah, but it's as much as you want to get Messi, you also have to understand the dynamics of Messi. Messi wants to win and not just be a second player. He also wants to lead a team. Him going to Paris would cast a shadow over Mbappe and Neymar. Which one is going to take the hit? So for me, it doesn't make sense. If you go with Pep, Pep has a perfect team. He's just missing that one element, and it would make him unstoppable. And it makes sense to be there, honestly.
Yeah.
And Mbappe, as I said on our last chat, it would make sense for him to hold, to see how the contracts go with the rest of the clubs, and to really see if Madrid is the next step or if it's Prem League like Liverpool, because Liverpool need help now as well.
Yeah.
So what I suspect will happen tonight is we'll see a 5 or 10 minute acceleration from PSG. They'll try and score early. Barcelona will try and do the same. And then the entire game, you're going to see a battle in the midfield and maybe a boost at the end. But I seriously suspect that PSG will win this game and win the next game as well. And it'll be the 10th consecutive game, if they win this, that they qualify for the Champions League. So they can break 10. And I think Barcelona is around like 12 or 15 or something like that, which is unreal stats.
Yeah,
look at the team. Barcelona are not the same. And I'm tired of hearing the French press telling me that it's the revenge or it's the match of a decade.
That was back. That was 2017, right?
Yeah, it's not.
That was crazy.
Back then, that team should have won Champions League, no problem, back to back, and it didn't. So, and then Neymar left. It's like there's absolutely no way this is the same. And I'm tired of the press making it as though it's the best game out there. It's not. It really is not. It's going to be a terrible game for Barcelona.
Yeah. You know what? That's going to be, I was really excited when I saw that lineup, though. I really was. And it's very unfortunate that the main players are not going to be there. Like, I do agree with what you're saying is that it's going to be, I think it's going to be one of those counter-attacking games whereby whoever can be lethal in the counter-attack will win the game, because I can see Messi kind of breaking down the lines. I can see Mbappe on the other end, trying to use his speed on, especially Barcelona. You guys have very slow defenders. So
it's terrible defenders right now. The defenders are just not at the space. We have a Swiss cheese defense. We're taking every game. It's like 2 or 3 goals we're down, and we have to come back up. 1 or 2 goals we're down, and we have to come back up. We're doing remontadas the entire year instead of actually leading games. So I don't see why this will be different. And people are saying Champions League is different. And please prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. That's all I wish.
Champions League is different, but it's kind of like the league as well. There's no fans, so so when you take out the fans, let's say at the new camp you have the fans in there, totally different story. You know what I mean? Because fans play a huge role.
The sound, the crowd, how they boo you, how they cheer you, it'll be different. From what I see from this game, it'll be a tactical game. Barcelona will play defense, hoping not to get early goals, and Poch will go all out using Mbappe. What'll be really interesting is to see Paris's midfield, because it's an area which they're really having a tough time. And instead of focusing on getting Messi, they should really
focus on that midfield. Yeah,
really midfield.
I've always said that. Ander Herrera, is it Verratti? Verratti is there too, right? He's
how much can you trust the guy for a long term? He needs a backup. He needs to rest.
You
need another strong guy to be in there. And I would stop focusing on getting Messi and get a freaking midfield to be able to get to the next level. I mean, you have good defense. It could be better. The striking core is ridiculous. I mean, you don't really need to improve it. Really.
You know what's crazy though? I'm actually surprised PSG did not go for like a solid defender, like for maybe they
Yeah,
might in the summer. They might in the summer because I'm not
they,
sold
they don't
on what's his
have
name, the
they
French
don't
guy.
have they don't have money. PSG are
Mm,
minus 200 mil. I mean, the rule now with Champions League or any league and is that if you cannot buy what you cannot make, and the only guys that are really making a lot of money are the previous two uh, Prem champions and League Champions League, which is Liverpool and Man City. The rest,
yeah,
I would say, well, Paris may be able to sign three players, no problem, but they won't be able to do like 100, 200 mil transfers. They won't be able to because
no, definitely not.
they need to sell.
But is there really a defender that is worth that much
Yeah,
to the market?
delete is still one player I would definitely go after.
Yeah, what's that guy's name? Conde? Was it Conde from Seville?
Yeah, he's all right. I don't think he's top one, but he's good. I still think the Juventus defender Delete is a player that's just in the wrong team. Honestly, he's just
Yeah,
utilized. If he goes to Paris, it would be
it would be.
undeniable.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, that would be crazy because it would give him more time to develop because it's a French league, and then
Yeah,
he can show. He can actually build from that experience and take into the Champions League and help you guys out.
and
Because
Leonardo.
Coleman, yeah, Coleman is the guy. I just don't trust. No, not Coleman. I keep forgetting his name. Kimpembe. Yeah,
Kimepe is really good. Kimepe is really, really an amazing player, and hopefully he stays on the same path. Not getting Upamecano and him going to Madrid to Bayern is another area where I don't know why Paris didn't even step in and wanted to save for Messi. I get they want Champions League and that's their desperate need, but getting Messi won't necessarily guarantee you a Champions League. You need a good core. I mean,
yeah,
I would have if Leonardo being Italian, I would have gone out for some Italian midfield. They have some good midfield. Barella, you have some really core guys. Tanoli, the young guys that can easily like Verratti come in and move with Paris at the same time.
yeah.
Going to Messi is a paper wish for sure, but it's not what Paris needs. Honestly, it's not. It's what Man City needs. Man
I
City
don't know
needs
if Man
one
City
guy.
needs him, bro. I
One
don't
City,
really need
City
that.
needs this one guy that Aguero can't be. This factor when there's really hard games, a
Yeah.
guy that does magic, and that's Messi.
Oh wow. I honestly, before we move on, just because time is not on our side, just before we move on to the next topic, I just feel like it would be amazing for Messi to go to a not amazing. As a United fan, that would just be torture for Messi to go to Man City because I feel like Man City already has what they need, but that would just take them to that. That would be like a guaranteed Champions League if Messi was to go there. But is it worth the kind of
The
money
way the
for
way
him?
I see Messi to Man City is like I see the NBA. If you put Man City, they're already stacked. So that's Clippers, right? That's
Yeah,
literally Clippers. You put Messi at the Clippers, and you're thinking, okay, guaranteed team to win. What happened? The turnover, they mismanaged it, and they got knocked out. Versus you look at Paris, and you're thinking, okay, same thing again. It's Clippers. You put Messi in there, everything will be good. There's no guarantee. It won't guarantee. What would be interesting to see, everyone wants to see Messi do well outside of La Liga. Well, it will be a challenge for Messi to, at his age, be at the best possible.
yeah,
Because La
no,
Liga
definitely.
he knows the teams, he knows who he scores, how he plays, he takes time to run. Prem teams run and run and run. And if he goes to Ligue 1, there would be no challenge. I mean, he would
Yeah,
be scoring 3 goals every week. No,
Dragon hat tricks. He already has like the record for free kicks. You know what I'm saying? Like in one
is that
season.
really a challenge? Is it
Yeah,
really a challenge to go to a younger division with a top team in a division that's already basically top? Yeah, Paris are getting competition this year, but that's because they've been terrible, not because they're they haven't been coached well. Doesn't necessarily mean they're a bad team. They're a great team. They should be winning this league without an issue.
yeah. So then that's the thing, right? I think that's always been PSG's downfall is that league is just not it's just not good enough. But we're beginning to see a little bit of investments from like your Marseille and Lille and stuff like
If
that.
Paris were smart, they would come together and share the wealth or do something around to be a leader to be able to elevate this league because this league, French players like Upamecano, Conte, etc., they all excel at home, but they leave so quick. If you really want to keep the talent in France, you need to build up the TV rights, you need to build up the teams, share the money, not just It can't just be always Lyon and Paris at the top
Yeah.
of the.
Remember, like when we were growing up, Lyon was was Paris at that time. They won
right?
like 11 in a row. Like,
but what did it take for Paris to come together? Oh, they got bought over. Is that what the answer is for all? Come on, it's like sooner or later you're gonna have to figure out a dynamic that works for all the clubs, and it can't just be getting bought over by rich folks all the time. Sooner or later you have to build teams.
I know what's crazy. I think EPL did a great job with that in terms, obviously, the popularity because it's English. And just the way the EPL is structured, it made it easier to be able to do that. And that's why now you're seeing so much competition now. Even like the bottom league team, let's say like the team from the second division, from the championship, when they do win the championship and come to the EPL, they're getting like, £100 million just to come to the EPL. So it's crazy. That's a lot of money that a lower league team could use to invest, on some good.
And it's something that needs to fundamentally change. And the whole TV rights thing in France that happened, it's just another example of how this league is just mismanaged. So going in there and being Messi and be like, I want to retire in Paris just to bring one Champions League there, I really don't see it. Unless he really wants to join Neymar, then I'm all ears. But that means Mbappe has to leave because there's no cap space. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting. But I truly think that tonight's game will be far more open for PSG than it is for Barcelona. Barcelona will suffer tonight, and it'll all be down to Messi again.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, man. Let's move on to the next game, which is Liverpool.
Yeah.
So obviously, Klopp. There's been a lot of rumors of Klopp, and fans saying that he needs to resign. Whether that's true or not, I think Liverpool fans would be delusional and ridiculous to start calling for Klopp's head, because this guy has done amazing things in the last 4 seasons. So to just a dip in form and you want him out, it's kind of stupid. But do you feel like this could be it could be a refreshing experience for them to take a break from the EPL, going into the Champions League? Like, how do you feel? How do you think Liverpool will bounce back?
I think Liverpool, at this rate, they should be in the top 2, if not champion. Pep has just been wonderful in rejuvenating his team in the middle of the season, or literally in the middle of the season, he's rejuvenating the team. Where at the beginning I thought, okay, City is going to be gone. Liverpool, to judge Klopp this quick is a little bit unfair, because they didn't judge him for the first 3 years where they're like, oh, he'll get us there, he'll get us there, he'll get us there. He got them there. And now that he's not performing every year or every game, you're like, okay, let's get rid of him. The real question is, what other coach is available? None.
Yeah.
So,
and a coach that's going to do what Klopp has done, right, in the last few years.
And you know what happens if Klopp leaves? The one team that's going to want him is Bayern, because they want a German coach, because they can't keep his coach forever. So sooner or later, there's going to be a turnover. I get that, but do you really want to get rid of him? Unless they bring Zidane and they surprise us, and then Mbappe joins Liverpool. Okay, maybe that's the wing. But I truly
think man could be another option too.
Yeah, it could
just kind of bring that German philosophy, just recycle it.
Exactly. But I honestly think that the club should stay at least another 2 years and see where it goes. I will say that them not being ahead of Prem may cause 2 issues. 1, money, obviously, in a time that needs the most money possible. 2, if they really let go of the Prem and they're only making sure they're in the top 4, then go all in for Champions League. And then I would consider them a contender. But they have to prove it versus Leipzig and so forth. They have to prove it on a consistent basis. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I think because at first I thought they were playing Atletico Madrid, and I was like, that's going to be a disaster. But they're playing RB Leipzig, which is they have a really good manager. So that's going to be a good game to watch, because that's going to be another tactical game because Nagelsmann is like the up and coming club, in his own right. So it's going to be very interesting to see that. But I think that's a better opponent for them to be able to pick their heads up and try to regroup. And there's also talks that Van Dijk is now back to training. So that's a huge boost.
I think we can cancel Van Dijk's season. I think it's over. Honestly, even if he comes back, it would be much of a risk. When you come back from this injury, you want to take your time. I would play him towards the end of the season or small games so that he doesn't get really injured. He needs to be fit for the next year for sure.
And the Euros as well.
And the Euro, that's going to be key for him. And the World Cup, which is 1 year later. So he needs to be in top shape. And then tonight's game will be tough for Liverpool because Leipzig aren't a terrible team. They're a really good team domestically. And them being away, Liverpool, it'll be interesting to see how they come along and do over there. And again, it's not actually, sorry, they're both away. The real issue with this team, with Leipzig, is that there's a quick turnover. Now that Upamecano is going to Bayern, he may have his head somewhere else, or he's like, okay, my future is solidified. I'm going to play my best tonight. So it might make Liverpool play a different strength, but I think Liverpool should be able to take this game, honestly, and should be able to perform because they have a lethal strikers up front and lethal core. We'll see, but I think it's a little bit too unfair to judge Klopp for Liverpool. I think you give him time, right? I mean, if Mourinho's getting this much time, Poch got this much time, Wenger got like 12 years or something like that, Klopp deserves a little bit more credit. And I get it. Fans are demanding, and that's the problem. As I told you last podcast, when you stop winning, those Prem fans are used to winning. They will not let you go. They'll start using all kind of excuses, saying it's now or never. The thing is, you have to think of it exactly like the Michael Jordan documentary that we've all seen. It's like, when a core is functioning, they just need certain pieces to come together. Sometimes they need a bit better motivation, or they need to step back. But do not cancel the coach because of some couple of games. They're still in the top 4. You can't complain about it.
I know that's true. I know. Obviously, there's talks that over in top 4 might be a challenge for Liverpool just because of the resurgence of Chelsea. You look at West Ham is doing pretty well too, and there's a couple other teams that are slowly beginning to make a statement as well. So there's definitely but you're right. I think fans are very fickle in today's day and age, and you're only as good as your last result. That's really what it's becoming now. So, but just switching on to that, obviously with Leipzig, they're losing that arguably their best player in Upamecano. Like, obviously him going to Munich, I'm a little disappointed with that just because I was really hoping that United would be able to snatch him from Germany, but it looks like Ole is still very confident in our back line. I don't know why, but it is what it is. How do you feel about that move? Do you feel that was the right decision for him? Does that kind of put the Bundesliga in balance or out of balance in terms of? Well,
first of all, I want to say kudos to Bayern again for buying a player like that at that sum. 40 mil is a joke, honestly.
Smart business too. Smart business. They know Alaba is
the
right
guy
away. Placement.
Exactly. The guy is selected by the French team. He's played. He's proven that he has a bright future. He's doing really well at Leipzig. I mean, to only sell him for 40 is beyond crazy. Whether it's an end of contract deal that they just need to find the money. I think given Bayern another top player where they've been dominating the league for God knows how long. So it just shows again the Bundesliga is basically, as much as they want to say this competition, it's Bayern again that's coming out top. And Bayern fans are incredibly happy that this is happening. But the realistic fact is, once again, Bayern is going to dominate the defender. And him being in the Bundesliga, he wants to play for the top team there where he's comfortable. He knows the team. It's a no-brainer. And going to Man U and so forth, maybe he wasn't ready for it. Or maybe they didn't really offer him the best chances saying, hey, you're going to be a regular start. Alaba leaving, Boateng being questionable all the time. Upamecano is a guaranteed starter, technically. So it makes sense for him. But what's surprising about it is he didn't want to go somewhere like Madrid, where Zidane was. He didn't want to go somewhere at Barcelona, where there was clearly a gap that he could improve himself. He went to a team that's ready to win now.
Yeah,
that says a lot about him as well. It says, I don't want to wait 2 or 3 years. I want to win now.
Yeah, that is true.
At Bayern, you're guaranteed to win for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, like he's probably going to be winning like trebles like every other season, literally. But yeah, I think what's his name? Who's the guy? Boateng. Yeah, I think his career was done when Messi minced him up.
Arguably, it was done before. I think he's always lived to a certain potential, and I don't think he's ever made it to that potential. He's always been good, but I don't think he's like excellent. And I think it's almost like the Pogba effect. Like, oh, you need to be excellent every week, and some players aren't excellent; they're good. And I think he was a good player. And the Messi incident, it's unfortunate that it happened.
No, it's like the Sanchez thing this weekend. Sanchez against City.
Sanchez, yeah, it's almost like Sanchez, but it happens, and it is what it is.
The greatest
what
defenders have gotten there
is he didn't go for a team that was up and coming, and he went for he went to a team that's like guaranteed win. It's almost as though, I get it, it's going to get him to an elevated area where he's going to have routine and star players around him, but is really Bayern the answer for him? I would have loved to see him in the Prem, honestly.
Yeah, and that's the thing that really, it's kind of like reminds me of when Barcelona was on top, like from, I think it was 2008 to like 2012, where it was just like every Latin player or anyone that was decent was signing for Barcelona, right? And now you look at the entire, like all the leagues across, like the top teams, they all just got the leftovers from Barcelona. Like when you think about like even what's his name, Thiago, Sanchez, all these guys that all signed for Barcelona but just couldn't break into the first team. And to me, and I feel like that's kind of what's happening in Germany as well, where it's like, okay, it's like clockwork. You play for a lower team and then you're good enough, and Munich just scoops you up, and it's just like, where does that end? Right? Is that creating that competition for the league?
I agree, and when you play in Germany, you realize there's one thing and one thing only: it's Bayern. If you don't play for Bayern, you're not in the German history, and it is the way it is. It's just that mentality. Bayern. They have the history. They have the Champions League. They have the league. They just completed all the trebles and all the 6 trophies basically. The last time someone did that was Barcelona. It's just to show you they're on a winning path, but they're also, what's interesting is that they keep renovating. I'm keen to see who they bring on as a striker, because Lewandowski sooner or later will start to decline. He's not a Messi, Ronaldo. He's good, but sooner or later it will start to decline. And I think that'll be interesting how they manage it. But 40 mil, everybody can.
Yeah, I've been heard people saying that Kane might be a good replacement for Lewandowski.
Kane's too old.
Well, I don't think Lewandowski's like, Kane is what, 28 in the German league? That's pretty young in the German league, because German strikers or German players play till, it's kind of like Italy. They play till.
I get it. And you're thinking of it as age, as in he can easily make it in Bundesliga. I'm sure he can. I'm sure he can be a top striker, but you have to see that Lewandowski played for the Bundesliga since like forever. So if I'm going to bring a player, and I know Lewandowski has maybe 2-3 years, I'm going to get a player that is going to mimic him. I don't think Kane will mimic him. And Kane will be done, maybe a year or two after he's done, honestly. And Kane's heavily injured. So if I would go out and get a striker, it'd be like Haaland, who's doing really well in Dortmund, and I would scoop him up.
But that goes back to the same story, the same script.
But that's Bayern. That's Bayern. That's what they do. Anybody that's good in German league, once you want to go to the top, you come to Bayern. It's just the way it is. And that's funny enough. That's what PSG is trying to do in the French league. Anybody that's good, come to PSG. But the problem over there is even worse, because people are starting to hate PSG on a high-end level because of their policy, because of people, because of mentality, the way they play, how cocky they are. I mean, it's a lot more like that. I think from a youth perspective, everybody wants to play with Mbappe and Neymar, but there's a fundamental problem that they hate this team. Whether there's in the Bundesliga, there's a mutual respect that Bayern is the top team.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I know, and that's where I hope that some of these players will give, teams like United. But like I said, I've said that a lot of times, is if I were a player that has so much potential, why in the world would I come to Manchester United right now? Because when you look at that team, like you said, these players want to win. They want to see a blueprint of success. But right now, there really isn't a blueprint for like teams like Manchester United, Tottenham, Chelsea. Well, Chelsea slowly now.
I wouldn't say blueprint. I would say the issue is our generation. Our generation expects to make money quick, expects to win now. We don't wait anymore. The previous generation was like, I'm going to go over there. I'm going to be the main guy. I'm going to be the captain. I'm going to lay my life for the team. That doesn't exist anymore. No player does that. I mean, Neymar going to PSG is for me, the pinnacle of this generation. Instead of being a top player that was going to win back-to-back Champions League, he decided to go over there to be the leader, and he faced Mbappe. And now Mbappe is like, do I want to stay for 4 more years and believe in the project, or do I want to extend my contract until 2022 and then leave and see? Like, it'll be interesting to see what he does, because he is part of that generation. Everybody has an eye on him. What are you going to do next? If he signs for PSG, then he better bring a Champions League, because I don't see how we can even name him a top player if he doesn't bring that.
I know, and I think he sort of, and I think that's something that Messi, and I feel sometimes that's what playing alongside someone like Messi would do to you, because you're somebody who you know that you could be not as great as Messi, but you could be in that same conversation. And I think for him, he just kind of felt like he needed to go somewhere and show that he can do what Messi's doing at Barcelona. Yeah, but I think he did it 2 seasons too early.
Yeah, and it reminds me of the LeBron and Irving situation. I mean, the guy left and he didn't really do anything after, and Neymar hasn't really done anything after. Yeah. Like, if I'm a player, I want to learn from the best. Like, honestly, I want to learn from the best, and that means that being closer to Ronaldo or Messi, that's the one thing I would do. Yeah. Going on my own is a tough situation if I know I'm not gifted like them. And Mbappe is in that mix where he's like, am I cocky enough to do my own thing, or am I going to learn from someone else? He goes to Madrid, there's no one. It's his world.
Yeah.
So he goes to Liverpool, and he's got a cast.
Exactly.
So because I have a tough time saying stay at Paris and learn from Neymar. The dude is not good.
Yeah, no, Neymar is just like all skill, right? And it's like you need to have talent, skill, and then it's like the work ethic that comes with that, right? Like, so that's why someone like, when you play along, like you said, someone like Ronaldo, you're not just seeing the skill, you're seeing the work that he's putting in behind the scenes, right? So that's what will drive you. That's what will. It's like, United, the young stars of United, they say that about Cavani, is the way he trains, the way he, nutrition, those things that can take you from being a very good player to an elite player. So,
and yeah. Ego plays a big factor. These kids have egos, they have to manage it, etc. But if you really look on it, I go back to the NBA all the time, and even Brady, if you go back to that, and I say, who would you rather learn from? Like, honestly, if you're a rising star, do you want to be like Patrick Mahomes and just be your own thing? Or do you want to learn from Brady, or do you want to learn from Jordan, or et cetera? And that's a mix of players, right? But if I'm Mbappe, you really have to look at that question. Who's going to be my mentor for the next 5 years, or am I doing it all alone? Because so far, he hasn't really learned from Neymar in many ways. Yeah, they're friends, but Mbappe is ready to take off.
Yeah, no, I like you. You're right. I don't think that that partnership is really gonna. And I think, like you said, I think when I look at Mbappe's game, it's like when we talk about growth and development, I haven't really seen much from his game that has changed from when he first burst into the scene just before the World Cup. So you're right on that. Like, if you actually, Mbappe is a massive name, he's a big name, but if you actually break down his game-to-game play, he hasn't really improved that much. Versus, like you said, if he maybe went to Liverpool that has a structure, they have a system, they have an amazing coach and a supporting cast, he can even, learn how to be that main guy, and also learn how to not just be the main guy, but also help the team as well. Just because of time. Sorry, go ahead.
He needs to improve his skills. And honestly, as you said, it's to the point where we understand his game. And I don't think he's going to change much of his game at Paris. Again, Paris fans will hate me for saying it, but they're not the top club. They can beat us tonight all they want, but they still won't be a top club for the fact that they have fundamental core issues. They're focusing on one thing versus making everything great.
And individuals versus the collective, right?
Exactly. And Mbappe staying, it would get them the name on the sheet and et cetera. But how many goals can you score versus Lyon, Lens, et cetera? Sooner or later, you're going to have to really learn new skills, rejuvenate your style, go for something different, learn how to shoot from distance. Like, when I see Suarez going from Ajax to Liverpool and then coming from Liverpool to Barcelona, he adapted to 3 different ways. And now he's doing it again at Athletic Madrid. That's, to me, a player. And Mbappe needs to learn how to be a player like that.
Yeah, like man, I just remember like just having flashbacks, man, of Suarez at Liverpool. That was some man. Like, this guy was scoring goals like a midfielder would. Like that's how techie he was. That's how amazing he was as a player.
Barcelona, and he supported Messi and Neymar, and he was good. He was amazing, but people saw him. Oh, he's a supporting cast. No, no, no. If you take Messi and Neymar away, watch him be a top striker, and he's proving it.
Yeah,
he's proving it, and he's old. So, and he's proving it.
That's the thing, right? Is he has so much experience that it's
exactly, and that's my point. I think Neymar can't be that guy, and Mbappe needs to be that guy.
Yeah. So, man, this has been an amazing conversation. But final point before we wrap this up, I also wanted to get what your prediction would be for the Barcelona PSG game. What the scoreline would be.
Well, you know how pessimistic I am about this game, so I say 3-0 for Paris.
Oh, geez. Okay. A repeat of 2017, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the repeat would be 4-0, but I hope it's less than that.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, you never know. Yeah, I would say probably I would give it a narrow 1-0. I just feel like it's gonna be very cagey. Everyone's just gonna be very strict defensively.
You forget how bad Barcelona's defense is. As much as we have Messi and Griezmann and Dembele and so forth, we have a terrible, terrible defense. Our defense is knocking in goals like Swiss cheese. It's not good. Not good.
Hey man, when Messi's on there, and next thing you know, everyone's pulling Sanchez. All of a sudden,
I pray that Barcelona
could be a very rainy day in Barcelona too.
Yeah. If they prove me wrong, I will do something, anything for Madrid fans. I'll be like, hey, I'll wear your shirt for a day. If you prove me wrong and you score 3-0 versus Paris at home, prove me wrong. But so far, I don't think so.
Yeah. So just to wrap this up, who do you think the favorites are for the Champions League, just based on form? Obviously, we've seen Manchester City. They've gone, 13 games unbeaten. They look like no team can stop them right now. And then you have Munich, who are defending champions, and they still seem to have a bit of steam to them. I don't really see any other team in Europe being able to dominate.
I see 4 teams. I see the top one is Bayern. The second one would be City. Third would be Athletic Madrid. And fourth would be Liverpool. I don't want to cast out Liverpool because if they know they can't do the Prem, they're going to focus on Champions League. And I think Athletic Madrid, if they burst through the 16th final, I believe they're still in there, I hope. I think they could be a lethal team, seeing how well they're doing in La Liga. And remember, anyone who's top of their league tend to be a last burst. When they've guaranteed their solution, guaranteeing their position, like City are guaranteeing their position, Bayern are guaranteeing sooner or later their position. La Liga, same thing with Atletico Madrid. They tend to be the top team. So I wouldn't be surprised to see those top 4 in there. And Liverpool,
that's actually smart. That's actually a good call.
They have the team.
I could definitely see that being the final 4 that battles it out.
And I want to say a joker would be Juventus. Paris. The thing with Paris, why I can't give them the Champions League is they couldn't win it with a riddled COVID team. Now they have to win at home and away, and sooner or later, there will be injuries. There will be more complications down the road. There will be maybe contract negotiations with Mbappe that sooner or later the team is going to think something else instead of being all in. And last year, not winning it versus Bayern. Okay, Bayern are necessarily better, but they weren't far off. It wasn't 6-0. It was 1-0.
Yeah.
So
I don't even see PSG winning this. I think that was the closest they came. Because imagine PSG facing City in the finals, City in current form. Look at PSG; they're not really a possession-based team, so they really would get the ball.
Poch versus Pep, I say Pep any day. Poch versus Bayern, I would still say Bayern in a heartbeat, given how strong their new team is with Sané and so forth. And then
Kimmich alone would just destroy PSG's midfield.
Poch versus Juventus, I would say Poch would do better than Juventus. I think Juventus haven't shown that magic yet, but Poch versus Athletic Madrid, I would tend to say we would have a nice game right there. Maybe 3-3, 2-2. Nice game.
That's definitely that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that's really I think Atletico Madrid, they play Chelsea. That's going to be a good one too because that's going to be another tactical
Yep.
battle. And if they manage to get over that hump, then they're a team to definitely watch out for. Definitely.
City's been chasing it. If they win Champions League, they won't get Messi. I guarantee you that.
City? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why
If
would they? Like at that point, it wouldn't even make sense.
They would focus on rejuvenating their core. If Bayern can do it, it'd be back to back, which Zidane did. So why not? Given their core and their keep strength, but they are struggling in the Bundesliga, so they're not doing that well.
Yeah.
City again. City are far ahead so far, and Athletic Madrid are far ahead. So they can take a couple of breather games and let some of their key guys rest, and that would make a difference in Champions League, knowing there's home and away now.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
That was a knockout.
Yep.
Yeah. But I think honestly, if City were smart, I would just go for Haaland. Just swap him out with Aguero.
Yeah.
I would do that and just call it a day.
If City are really smart, they would just go with the core they have and maybe buy an up and coming striker. I think Pep knows how to play with these guys, but from what I've seen is they have an amazing team. Adding Messi would make them a lethal factor for sure. But adding Messi to PSG would just be to join your best friend, but doesn't guarantee him anything. They'll guarantee La Liga for sure, but Champions League there's no guarantee because money-wise, they would have no one. They wouldn't have money to buy a defender or a midfield. So it'll be interesting what happens. But to your point, Bayern is favored to do a repeat, and City would be right behind them.
Yeah, I think so too. That's good. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I think this year is going to be different from last year, just because we're used to the. Sorry?
I would hope because COVID Champions League was not exactly the best.
Yeah, it was kind of. Yeah, it wasn't. It was kind of boring to be honest, but I think teams have kind of gotten used to it. We've gotten used to it as fans, and I think and also players are trying to play to make the teams for Euros in the summer. So that's usually a big.
If that happens, I think the mindset, if it's not the Euro, it would be Qatar because the Qatar is only one year away.
Exactly. So people are beginning to start looking to have.
And that's where I kind of see that Mbappe is thinking, okay, if I switch team now and I'm terrible, I won't be up for the World Cup. So I think maybe the thinking is, wait till 2022 summer, just before the World Cup, and announce which team you're going for and hit the World Cup.
You know what? I think this summer might be big though, just because it's just after the Euros, see who performs, and then teams might decide to.
Clubs are poor, really poor. No club has money. If you'll see things, it'll be like these exchange, and it's if anyone's going to sell, it's going to be Barcelona and Madrid. They're going to sell, so they're going to fire sell whatever they can to be able to make money off. So teams might get a benefit. But and Juventus will be the same thing. To keep afloat, they'll start selling players. I don't think there's going to be a major transfer outside Messi and Mbappe. Those two talks will be during the summer. Will Messi renew his contract and stay, or will he go to Man City? It's been done for 2 years, and we're only going to find out this summer. Or will Mbappe not renew and stay until 22? Or will he sign and solidify his position at City at PSG, being that guy? He is that guy.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, man, it's definitely been I honestly enjoy having, these conversations with you, man. So knowledgeable, and your stuff. So I really appreciate that. Those of you that were watching, I really appreciate it. I do see some of you did like the video. So I really appreciate that. Please continue to smash the like button. Please continue to subscribe. Please share. And yeah, man, I think that's it for today. All we can do now is sit back and enjoy the showdown between Barcelona versus PSG. So
it's not We'll see next time.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure.
Take care, man. You guys stay safe.
Bye.